Hey everyone, it's Alexandra and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm really excited to share with you how I've been setting up my fourth bullet journal. And along with your help, I was able to decide on a color, and it was the ice blue Lake Term 1917 A5 dot grid journal. And that kind of set the tone for the theme that I was gravitating towards. So thank you guys, because without your help I wouldn't have been able to really figure out what direction I wanted to take this bullet journal in. In my previous bullet journals, I try and come up with a theme to start with my collection pages. So with my current one here that I am finishing up this month, I did a peacock theme, again based on like the colors of the journal and stuff like that. And so that was the direction I took this third bullet journal in. And before I show you how I set up my fourth bullet journal, in the current journal that I'm in, this was kind of a brainstorming page for different thoughts and ideas and things that I wanted to include in my fourth bullet journal. And so I decided to go with, like I said, the ice blue Lake Term. I got my crescent moon glitter vinyl decal in the champagne color here from KM Vinyl Shop on Etsy. I always get my vinyl stickers from her on there. Love her stickers, and they hold up pretty well considering this is a year old pretty much already. So I'm very pleased with the quality. So I decided to go with a celestial theme, sun, moon, stars, sort of a thing. And like I've done in my past monthly spreads, I like to stick to a certain color palette because it just doesn't leave any room for confusion. So I know exactly what colors I'm using. I don't have to it makes it less daunting setting up a brand new bullet journal to begin with, but just having a color palette and kind of having a theme, it makes everything look cohesive, and it kind of takes the pressure off of figuring out what you're going to do for each design of each collection page. So I find that it just makes life a lot easier. So these were a couple of the doodles and things. Some of this, I have to say, was inspired by Amanda Rach Doodles. I love her stuff. So these things are inspired by her. Some of this stuff I just found, either, my own doing or on Pinterest and stuff. So these were a couple of doodles that I brainstormed and put together. Couple of pages that I wanted to include, and then my opening quote. For each journal, I started off with a quote. And so that was the brainstorming process. So as we close the chapter of bullet journal number 3, we are going into bullet journal number 4. So I have to say though, I got the Lake Term. Lake Term has changed the quality of certain things. The newer Lake Terms are different than the past 3 that I've had. For example, they only have 2 pages for the index as opposed to 3. And the paper quality, I mean, it still says it's 80 grams, but I find that with my Tombows, they're not holding up as well, and there's a little more ghosting than I'm used to as opposed to the older Lake Terms. So it's a little weird, I don't know why. But the ghosting never really bothered me. But just for those of you that, might notice, I feel like there's been a little bit of decline in quality in the Lake Term, but I still like them, and I still use them. It's my go-to journal. So if you've been following me on Instagram, I've been posting up, a couple of my collection pages here and there, but this was my opening quote here, okay, with little sun and moon and stars, again using these 4 Tombow colors. The pink is in the 761, sky blue in 491, this purple periwinkle in 453, and then the yellow in the 055. So this is my cover page, my index, which I still have to add in a couple more pages, my key. Again, I've kept it very simple. I used to color code my key. I just don't have that kind of time anymore, so I just keep it very simple. My future log, I like the vertical layout because it just allows a lot more room for writing down appointments and events. It does kind of stink sometimes because when you add in a new event, it kind of gets things out of order. The dates are not in order, but we deal with it and we move on. It's not a big deal for me. But this is my future log, and I do 6 months at a time. One person had asked me, does your bullet journal only last for 6 months? And I said, no, not normally. So if I do find that my bullet journal will last me longer than that, then later, you know, as I progress, I'll add another future log for the next 6 months, which is what I had done in my previous bullet journal. So level 10 life and level 10 goals. With each new bullet journal that I start, I reassess where I'm at in level 10 life and level 10 goals. And if you've been following me on Instagram, you maybe have noticed or picked up on the fact that, like, not that I've been hard on myself lately. I mean, I just had a child like 5 weeks ago, but I think towards the later months of pregnancy and just feel energy level was not where it normally is. And, you know, dealing with life with a newborn and a toddler, I feel like I am not the best version of myself, and this journal, I hope, is a testament to the fact that I really want to be a better version of myself. And so I've noticed that when I filled this out, the numbers or the levels are not where I want them to be exactly. So I really hope that by the time I have my next bullet journal, that these numbers will really go up, and that I can really improve all, if not most, of the areas of my life. Not to say that I'm like sad or anything, but it's not where I want it to be. And there's always room for improvement. So again, I focus on 8 areas of my life. Some are better than others, but I really have to make more of a point to take care of myself and to be the better version of myself, or the best version of myself that I can be. So you'll see some other spreads that are dedicated to that sentiment. Tried and true, my grocery list. Now, there were a couple questions on how this exactly works. A master grocery list is a master grocery list. So every week, go through the list and see what I need. And it's 4 pages. This page here is dedicated to putting a post-it note in here. And so I don't physically bring my bullet journal to the grocery store. The only thing that comes with me is the actual list. So the list goes in here, and I go through each category and see what I need, and it goes out on the list. This prevents me from writing down grocery lists in my bullet journal and it taking up pages. So by using the post-it note, you know, every week I put a new one in, I write up a new list, and the post-it note or the list is the only thing that comes with me to the grocery store. So this is a list of just for reference of what I need. These are the things that I normally shop for. And it's perfect timing because now that we have Eva, I have had to add some things back onto the list, like, you know, formula or wipes and all this other stuff, diapers. So it's good. The bullet journal system is great that way. It just goes with whatever is going on in my life. So I had to add a few things in, and that's how it basically works. One of my goals is to obviously get back to my pre-pregnancy weight. And so this was a spread. I was looking at different diets, Whole30, keto, and all of that. And it's a little too strict for me to do right now with 2 small kids. And so I decided that the Mediterranean diet was something more feasible because I am Greek and I do kind of follow it to some extent. This hopefully will make me a little more disciplined and really kind of sticking to what the Mediterranean diet is all about. So I looked online, on Google, on Pinterest, and I found some references. So I put them here in my bullet journal. Things that I need in my pantry, in the fridge, in the freezer, on the counter, and some items that are essential really to the Mediterranean diet. So this was a reference here, some diet tips that I found specifically for the Mediterranean diet, the pyramid, if you will, on how it's structured, you know, and so this is just a nice reference page if I get stumped on like snack ideas or, you know, whatever. I mean, and with this, I have my recipe log, which I brought back. So these are all, or most of the recipes that I will make. Some I make a lot more often than others. So this is just, you know, if I get stumped for ideas, I can refer to this and say, okay, well, I haven't made this in a while, or, you know, salad ideas or whatever the case may be. So I brought this back. I haven't had this since my first bullet journal, so I brought it back because now I'm home again and it just makes sense to bring it back. In conjunction, I've had a couple of Mediterranean diet cookbooks that I've been referencing with recipes that I do want to try out and experiment with. So this is a couple of recipes that I'd really like to try out with the page numbers of the different cookbooks for reference. So just as, you know, again, I get sometimes, I know with cooking, if you cook a lot from home, you kind of get into a rut. You kind of start making the same things over and over and over again, and you kind of get tired of eating the same thing. So this is why I've done this. My weight tracker here, I would like to lose at least 15 pounds. So June has been just a lot of prep work with just figuring out workout programs and how I want to tackle this in the healthiest way possible and in the most realistic way possible with 2 young kids. So, okay, next we have the waiting on page, which is if I order things online, when I ordered them, where it's from, when I ordered it, when I can expect it to arrive, and when it actually did arrive. I have a brain dump page, and you'll notice that a lot of the headers, I really kept it simple. Any time I had a spare moment to work on this, I did. And so I really needed stuff that wasn't time consuming. So I really just went back to basics. An Instagram and YouTube tracker with number of followers. Again, nothing crazy. This here was a spread I found on Pinterest, and I believe I got this from Miss Louie on YouTube. But this was just a cleaning schedule and what I should be doing, whether it's on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, biannually, you know, schedule. And then again, as far as taking care of myself, which I mentioned before, this was something that she had. It was a self-care menu. So any time I feel like I want to treat myself or do something that makes me happy, or, you know, if I need an hour to myself or whatever the case may be, these are things that make me happy and maybe that I should do to recharge, regroup, and just feel better about myself. So it's a nice reminder of that. Okay, and then this I will show you in the next video because I am set up for July already, but I will show this to you in the next video. Again, I follow the same theme, but the last page here is my workout plan. I'm using the Sworkit app on my Apple Watch and my iPhone, and I have the Apple TV. So this was one of the workouts that I decided to do. So I'm just gonna keep track of when I did each workout, how long I decided to do it for, and all that. So that leaves me about 25 pages in before I have July all set up, and I'm really excited to show you July because it's something I've never ever done before as far as layout goes. But this is how I set up my 4th bullet journal. I really want to make it more, get the most out of this journal and really make it a way for me to be the best version of myself, get back on track, be productive, and just again work on being the best version of myself. So I'm going to give you one last flip through here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If there's any other spreads or things that you feel I should include here, or any spreads that are helpful to you collection pages wise in your bullet journal, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you guys. I know that some of you on Instagram did give me suggestions, and I am very, very grateful for that, and I did take a couple of them into consideration here. But this is what we have here. So until next time, guys, please give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.